Hello everyone, and thanks for coming back to the channel. Beta Flight 4 is out and we're all excited about it. And I've got one tip for you, as the thumbnail should have said, and it doesn't even come from me. But before we get to that tip, a couple of things about my personal philosophy when it comes to updating our firmware. One is, if I got a really good flying quad and I like how it feels, I'm not going to bother with any new firmware. I'm going to leave it right where it is. I'm going to fly it like I like it. Two, if you got a curiosity, then you need to scratch that itch. You need to go after it. So if you're curious about Beta Flight 4, you probably want to move to it. Three, if you just want to try something new, kind of goes to that curiosity, doesn't it? Sometimes we just want something new. A new set of motors, different set of props. We don't necessarily swap them out because we think it's going to be better, but we want to try something new. And if that's the case, there are presets that you can use to get you up to speed and flying your new feature set in Beta Flight 4. So here we're right on GitHub for everybody to see, and I'll have a link in the video description for you to just click on and look at it. We start with always check your motor temps after a short 15-second forward flight. So not a hover, do one circuit if your circuit takes 15 seconds. But we've got a brushed whoop class. I kind of wish they had a brushless one, but I get it, all things in due time. We've got a 2 or 3 inch prop with a 1100 series or 1200 series motors. And then we've got a 3-inch quad with 14 or 1500. Aren't we seeing some 1600 series motors on our 3-inch quads? So they missed that a little bit, but still, this will give us a baseline. Also, if you've got a bigger quad, like a 5-inch running 3 or 4S, or a 6 or 7-inch, or as they put it, the Ripper drone, or 5-inch with a 5S or 6S on there. But also, on this very same page, if you liked a certain feel that you've gotten from previous versions of Beta Flight, but you want one of the new features, maybe you want the sticks on screen through the OSD, and you don't care about anything else, but you've got to upgrade to 4.0 to get those, but you want the old feel, they're right here. They got all this stuff right here. You just copy and paste it into your CLI, enter, save, enter, bam, you're done. Now with tuning, when it comes to these micros, that can be a little bit of a challenge, but I am glad to see that the community has noticed micros and they are working towards helping micro enthusiasts to fly. And I would say this should be a pretty decent baseline. You might want to lower the P gains a little bit, but this will give you a pretty good baseline if you match up what your quad is as far as prop size and motor size to what they have on here. And also thank you to George Hartman, as you can see here on screen. He also was part of this contribution. One of the questions I get oftentimes is, my Mobula is wobbly, or I get a lot of prop wash in my 3-inch, and people want me to help them kind of tune it out. And obviously, many times I don't even have video to look at, so I'm really guessing. So I think this should be a good step for people who, especially if you don't have a real good grasp on tuning, and I'm no expert by my own admission, but this should give you a baseline to start with. And I think it's a great development, and it's probably the only tip you'll hear from me on Beta Flight 4. Oh, and the human billboard of the day, it looks like I've got my Mobula shirt on. Brent Goudie? Brent Goudie. I keep saying his name wrong. I'll get it right one day. He designs several shirts that I picked up, and so I throw him a little bit of billboard time, the human billboard, as I'm calling myself. I'll have a link in the description to Brent's Redbubble site. I'll have to ask him. He's got another site he sells them on, and the prices could be different. I don't know. As of this recording, I haven't looked. I've just bought from the Redbubble. The one time I bought 4 shirts, I think it was. And I think we've seen them all here on the channel, so I'm going to have to start spreading things out a little bit more. I do have a couple more. You can't see them. Right down there, there's a couple more t-shirts that have yet to make an appearance, but they will one day. If you have any comments or questions, suggestions, please let me know in that section down below. I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.